Welcome to T Boys TV. We are back again with another Hatter Show, episode 226. And obviously, in this one, we will be discussing another defeat, unfortunately. And then, obviously, we'll be getting into a lot of transfer news. Obviously, we've only got a few days left, haven't we? So, obviously, a lot of news has been circulating in and around the football club. Obviously, there was, they said we're going to have an aggressive window. It wasn't aggressive until today, really. Today it's got a bit hectic, really. So, yeah, we'll get into all of that. First of all, though, Dad, how are you?
Yeah, not bad, man. Hope everyone's cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Big up to everyone inside. Big up to Paul, who said that earlier on. Big up to yourself, mate. Obviously, we'll get into ours, but yeah, fair enough. Obviously, we'll get into that as well. And big up to Alex in the chat as well. So, yeah, let's get into it. So, Millwall at home. I mean, going into it, like we've been saying, like I've been saying the last two games, we need to win. We're at that stage now. We're 23rd. We need to start picking up points. So it's a must win, really, being at home. Millwall poor away. I know we've been poor, one win ourselves, but they had one win, themselves going into it away. It was a good opportunity, given our home form. All right, we haven't played great at home, but we have got results majority of the times this season, even if it's been a fortunate win. Let's be honest, Derby, games like that, for example, Stoke at home. But yeah, going into it, line up, back four, Kaminsky in goal. Of course, he was never going to be dropped. A few people calling him for him to be dropped, which I thought was crazy, I'll be honest. Yes, all right, whatever, he might not come out as much, but at the end of the day, I stand by it. At Oxford, they've got to be marking, and there was another moment in this game where we're not marking again, which is just ridiculous, beyond ridiculous, because it was way too easy for them to get in. And Kaminsky saved us. Hashioka played. Good to see that he's continuing to play. I thought he was one of the better players in the previous game before that. McGuinness, Anderson come in. We probably we both expected that due to Holmes. You had to change it up. He didn't have a great game. McGuinness was obviously slightly better out of that centre back partnership. And Bloomfield likes Anderson, so always felt that was going to happen. Bell, again, I think I said it in the match reaction. Who else are you really going to put there? You don't want to put Doughty further back, especially with how good and influential he was against Oxford when he come on. Going forward, there's not really anyone else. Johnson is probably going to get loaned out. Things like that. Nakamba, obviously in front of him, which is good to see that. And then you had Brown, Krause, Clark, Doughty, and then obviously you had Morris up front. I think it was what it was when we played Preston at home, the exact same formation, I believe, which was a 4-2, I think it's a 3-1 or something like that. So it was quite interesting. And then the bench, obviously, you had Elijah, Holmes, Jones, Krul, Ruddock, Nelson, Walsh, Walters, and Woodrow. And guys, we obviously got to expect this a lot from Matt Bloomfield. He does rotate. I completely forgot about Jones until he come on in the game. Obviously, he's a new signing as well. But obviously he does rotate a bit. So we've got to get used to that. And maybe some players we do want to see in as fans in games might not start certain games. But yeah, I mean, it was a decent lineup. I was a little bit surprised that we did still maybe start Nakamba, even though he's been good. Just because we're at home, it's a game we should be looking to win. I was surprised we didn't go a little bit more attacking in that sense, and then have Krause and I don't know, maybe Clark, and then you put Jones in, and then put another centre midfielder in, something like that. When it comes to that, what did you make of the lineup when it dropped at 2, Dad?
Yeah, still sticking with forward back. I wanted to see Holmes left back, but again, like they all play 3-game week and all that, and so he switched it up. Expected Anderson to start. A bit surprised that Brown started really because he didn't really offer much in the previous game. You could see that Elijah was dropped to the bench. Would have liked to have seen Walsh start potentially. But yeah, not surprised to see Kaminsky continue to start. So yeah, it's fine. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, you can't. Like I say, guys, you can't drop Kaminsky because you weren't for his saves, especially in this game. You would have got absolutely obliterated. Yes, his distribution ain't great, but I know top keepers that their distribution is crap. And even then, I don't think it's awful. I just think sometimes he kicks it. The one thing that does frustrate me with him is when he kicks out sometimes. There was a habit of it happening every game where he kicks it out and it goes out for a throw. There was that. But the shot stopping, what their main job is, he's up there in the league, as one of the best in my opinion. So can't be dropping him. And it was good to see that obviously he wasn't. But yeah, going into the first half, obviously it was one of them where obviously Millwall were, having their early signs of probably how they were going to approach the game, which is sort of smash and grab sort of thing. Obviously, there were time wasting a little bit at times and stuff like that. But again, you got to expect that from a side that won one away game, all season at that moment. Connolly come on, and like I said in the match reaction, he actually done better defensively and going forward for me. And he's actually an attacker, as we all know. But then he did obviously have a penalty, and this is going to one of my points. He missed it. It wasn't a great penalty, I'll be honest, but good save from Kaminsky. I love to see that, especially with what certain people were saying before the game, dropping him and stuff like that. He was unbelievable in the game, Kaminsky, and it says a lot really about us this season as a whole. As your goalkeepers coming out of a home match getting man of the match. It says a lot about how the rest of the team's performing. Um, and he done some really, really good saves in that first half, and he prevented it from being more yet again. But yeah, it was a bit of a frustrating half because we just it was just a repetitive cycle again in the sense of that we're just not really creating anything. It's so lackluster, and I say it week upon week at the moment, and it's getting frustrating. And again, it's got to that stage now where you can't put it on the manager at all. The players have to take accountability. And again, there is some players performing well individually, but as a team, we're crap right now. We're so bad. It's actually like it's criminal, really. Again, when you look at the squad that we have, it's criminal that we're doing this bad. It's so terrible, man. Week upon week, looking so vulnerable defensively yet again, and the penalty. Yeah, again, Nakamba, I think he has been one of the better individual players recently. But again, he always has that habit, especially since he's come back from that injury. I remember even though it's a friendly, I remember we played Sheffield Wednesday. Obviously, we got them this weekend. When we played them, he gave away a penalty that was very clumsy. He has a habit of doing that sometimes. And it's poor from him to give away. I mean, people in the stadium at first didn't think it was quite, but it definitely was. Looking at it on TV and stuff like we were, Dad. It was without a question, it was a penalty. But Kaminsky, he done what he's paid to do, and that saved the ball. But yeah, it's a bit of a frustrating first half once again, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we're picking up in possession. We're looking more structured, but it's just that confidence, really, more than anything. And yeah, obviously it was a penalty. The Camby, he's always got that in him anyway. If he's inside the box defending, then there's a chance that it'll happen. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, Connolly come on. His career's the same. We had him on loan a few seasons back. Don't think he scored, but he was tipped to be pretty good, Premier League player and that. He hasn't really kicked on for that. He's still young though. Apparently that's the first time he took a penalty in his career. Right. And obviously, yeah, it wasn't a great penalty, but the fact that it still sent Kaminsky the wrong way, so he still had to adjust his feet.
And it's a hard save to make with his foot, to be fair.
Yeah, and keep it close to him. And, luckily, to a certain extent, I think he's still got it anyway, but none of their players anticipated. It almost seemed like they presumed he was going to score because they didn't run forward. But, it kicked us on a little bit. Obviously, you think it was 0-0 at half time, was it?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Which is not, not the end of the world. But obviously, then they come out, didn't they? And scored, sort of took it away. So, but we had a few chances before that. Morris had a chance. Doughty and Clark were taking.
It was good to see them chopping and changing and not being so reliant on Doughty. Yeah.
Morris is really, his form's not great at the moment either. But yeah, like it wasn't a great game, but you get a lot of them. They hadn't won away. It was scrappy. They were pumping it forward, but it just seemed to work for them. And that guy who did score for them is their record signing. Do you know what I mean? And he is a good player. That header he scored against Dagenham Redbridge was tenacious and that, and he's got that about him. And with that goal, Anderson defensively possibly could have done slightly better, but at the end of the day, he wrong-footed him, with a touch, and he's still got to finish it, and it was a class finish. So I'm not really going mad about the defence, really, in that situation. I'm more annoyed with the fact that we just then seemed to we were just pumping balls forward, and it was just weren't working. Like we just don't seem to have that confidence to pass the ball on the floor and create openings that much. We do it now and again, but it's just not. And it was pumping it, and then yet again the subs that come on had no impact at all. And then they were breaking the game and going down. There was one moment where they tried to get Walsh sent off. It's going to happen because of his history. He did go into the player, but it wasn't. It weren't. It was nothing vicious at all. You know what I mean? They try to make a meal of it, trying to con the referee, and it does annoy me that kind of stuff. And then it was just us pumping it, and they didn't really have much chances after that, apart from the one where Kaminsky saved us because the goal guy was unmarked. But other than that, not too much. Kaminsky was saving stuff, and he obviously rightly raging at defence because it's happening. He's seen it hundreds of times. People forgetting that.
Too many times.
But yeah, that's all I got to say on it, really. Like before we get into power ratings.
Yeah, just me quickly on the second half. Like I say, the goal couldn't have done anything. It was a great finish. Got to give the guy credit. Kaminsky again couldn't have done anything. But yeah, like you say, that was my frustrations as well. Just that long ball FC. People that were saying that, you can't blame them. Neutral fans that were saying that because that is what we're doing at the moment. And it's not obviously down to the manager. Like I say, it's the players' confidence and it's just not there. And we need to get, obviously we have got a few players in, which we'll touch on later. But, we just need that. We need someone to come in to be that booster, really. We just need, obviously our main priority now is a striker. We need that vocal point in the middle, that we can rely on. When people were talking about, obviously he's starting today, but just as an example, when people talk about Kone, they were saying, "Oh yeah, we still need someone to give him that service." Well, we've got Asgard now. That's confirmed. Well, not by Luton, but it's you've seen it all around. And if you haven't, then I'll show you guys it in a bit. It's just that vocal point now, that striker that we need, and I'll be a lot more happy that we can progress and hopefully end up staying up. But we shall see when it comes to that. Let's go through some more comments before we get into the player ratings. David, big up to yourself, mate. Says, hope you're both well. Being at the Kenny for a long time rather than being at home is so stressful as I can't turn the TV off, but at least we've started making signings. Yeah, exactly that. Big up to Rich. He says, evening. Stephen says, big up Ty and Dazza, cooking while listening. Nice one. Big up to yourself. Yeah, again, a lot of people saying the same stuff about the game. Lackluster, didn't deserve anything, poor all over. Yeah, exactly. It's a repetitive cycle, isn't it? Playing now and still wouldn't score. Yeah, no, like I say, it was a good save. Like, you got to, with your feet, it is hard to say, I played in goal. Do you know what I mean? Not to the level of Kaminsky, obviously, but I played in goal. You know what I mean? They're not easy to save. It weren't a great penalty, but at the end of the day, he's paid to save it, and that's what he did. And all the Kaminsky haters can hold that, they can because he, done his thing, and if it weren't for him, like I said in the match reaction, it'd have been about 4 or 5. So yeah, there we go with that. But yeah, moving on to the player ratings. Kaminsky, talking about him. Like I said, I don't really give man of matches when we lose, but the last 2 games I have, and I'm going to give it to him in this game. He got it in the stadium. And yeah, I'm not going to repeat myself really when it comes to it. So Kaminsky's my man of the match. Can't go too high, but I will give him 8.
I'll give him 7.5. Again, man of the match. You know what I mean? Like prevented it from being much more. There was only like 2 players that were pretty good, and he was obviously the standout one. And the save he made when the player was unmarked, you know, kept us in it, but then we didn't take advantage of it. So what else do you want him to do? Yeah, man of the match 7.5 for me.
Yeah. And that is putting 2 more votes ahead. Obviously, he was ahead anyway, but he's extended his lead even more for us this season. He's currently on 7 votes. As it stands, Jackie says 7.5. Yep, do get your ratings in, guys, for this game. Moving on to the next player, we'll go over to Hashioka. Not as good as Oxford. And again, I know, obviously, the first goal in Oxford, maybe you could say could have done better, but his tackling was really good in the game. It weren't as seen in this game from him. But I'm not going to be too critical of Hashioka. I still want him to start games. So I will just go with a 6.5.
Yeah, 6.5. Don't really think put a massive foot wrong. You're not expecting he's playing in the right. He's better going forward, but managers obviously throwing him out there. He might change him next game maybe, but he didn't really put a foot wrong for me. So yeah, 6.5.
Yeah. No, yeah, exactly. It's one of them, and again, he might rotate, like I say, because going back to what I said earlier, obviously he rotates quite a lot, doesn't he? So we probably will see Walters in a foreseeable future starting a game or 2. Jackie's gone with a 6.5 as well. Moving on to McGuinness. McGuinness can hold his head up high in this game. I thought he was, a close second, or close first for man of the match. But yeah, I thought he defensively quite solid, and he is looking better and better for us. Game upon game. Obviously, the only worry I do have is just them individual moments he has where he's, caught off guard, not marking properly and stuff. But when it comes to winning the ball in the air, like I say, he's really good at that. He was decent at that in this game. So I'll give McGuinness a 7.
Yeah, he's getting better at, things like that. Every player, other players make mistakes in the games as well. It's cost him, but then other defenders are normally around to cover it. Like Mengi done that quite a lot. He kind of looks for them mistakes to happen. He anticipates them. But yeah, generally, like it's reminding me of the Bradley and the Pearson kind of thing that we had. Just constantly winning his headers, heading it away, and he's better than them. I think he's definitely got the potential to be better than them. I thought it was pretty decent from him. So obviously, we know there's a lot more to come from him as well. So I'm going to give him. I'll give him a 7.5 as well.
Fair enough. Jackie has gone with a 7. Moving on to Anderson, obviously did get a card. Like I say, them few potential question marks. Could he have maybe been slightly better on the goal? But yeah, I'm not going to be too critical of Anderson in this game. I'm just going to give him a 6.5.
Yeah, 6.5. I thought he was all right. The goal, he did deal with a lot of, clearances and stuff himself. He's looking a lot more sharper. He's a big lad. He just needs to play a few games, I think. Let's be fair to the guy. He's been injured and that hell of a lot. He's come into a team that's performing terrible, So, it makes it worse, 6.5.
Yeah, I agree. He needs some more minutes. And it's been a bit of a surprise in certain games. He hasn't come on, just to get run out. Especially in the... What was the last home game before thingy? Preston. I was a bit surprised he didn't come on in that game, to be honest. But Jackie's gone with 6.5 as well. Moving on to Bell. I'm getting a bit frustrated with Bell now, because it weren't as bad as Oxford, but it's just not looking great. Like game upon game, it's just not looking like Bell originally. You know what I mean? It's I don't know, guys. Like I say, I think if these performances continue, we definitely have to get rid of him in the summer. I'm sorry, but we do. You know, it's not even a bit of consistency. I remember the season we went up. Me and you said that he was the most improved player for us, but since then he's just I don't know. Is his injury really affected him? I don't know. It's just crazy to me because he could play a full 90 minutes for Jamaica back to back, you know, and then come to Luton. And obviously, you know, that's managing him right. Then he gets injured, but he looked decent. And then he got injured and he just, I don't know, he's just been so shaky. Like, again, going back to that Oxford game, the way he was just letting the guy run past him at times, like, and just sit off him, I couldn't believe it. You know, but this game, frustrating. I mean, slightly better than that game, but still nothing special. So, average 6.
Yeah, 6. He improved in the second half, but the first half he did look very shaky. You know, panicky passes and you know, movement and positioning, etc. You know, I always thought he's better in the Doughty position, but you're not going to play in Doughty's position now. So if he doesn't really fit into the squad, especially in the Championship, then yeah, potentially he'd be, you know, he's been good for us. Not outstanding,
Yeah,
been decent. But yeah, 6.
Yeah, Jackie's gone with a 5, which is fair enough. Moving on to the next player, Nakamba. Again, I thought he was okay. Not to the extent of, especially Oxford. I thought he was one of the better players. Man of the match for me in that game. But this game, he weren't, you know, as good. But you know, it wasn't as bad really. I just got 6.5.
I'll just give him a 6. Obviously, I think he was just tired. I think, you know, potentially we haven't really got anyone. We could have put Kraus there maybe, you know, and then put Walsh in the Kraus position. But I think he was just a bit tired and he probably needs a bit of a rest. You know what I mean? Because he's only just come back from injury, really, and started playing consistently. But yeah, he just looks a bit leggy. And that's obviously what happened with the penalty as well. So I'll just give him a 6.
Yeah, because to be fair, you look at 3 of his last 4 games, he's played full 90 minutes. You know, except this game, yeah, he come off in the 75th. But the games before that, he's played full 90 minutes. So could very well be with him. Jackie's gone with a 6.5. Moving on to Brown, I'm getting disappointed with Brown, I'll be honest. I mean, Oxford, he come on, he couldn't even pass the ball. Like, let's just be real with it. Twice it went out. This game, he's not affecting the play. He's not affecting the play whatsoever. You know, there was games earlier on in the season, he would come deep and he would do all right. You know, Coventry, I know we lost that game, but Coventry away, he done all right. Norwich away, he done all right. He scored. You know, this game and the last couple of games, it's been terrible. I have to be honest, and I'm getting sick to death of our strikers because they're more than good enough to do bits in this league, but they're just not at the moment, and it's annoying, you know. And again, all right, you know, we're lumping it up to them at times, but even when they get the ball, they're not doing anything. They're just doing the same old, holding up the ball. You know, there's no other dimension to what they're bringing to their game, and it's frustrating at the moment. So Brown, I'm going quite low for Brown. I'll be honest, 5.5.
I'll give him a 6. Yeah, I feel the same. Obviously, I think he's better up front though. He's playing rather than playing wide and stuff, you know. And when he come back from injury, he was doing all right, wasn't he? So scoring a couple of goals, got goal.
That's what I mean, yeah.
And then, but recently, he's just not, you know. And you know, Stoke, when they let him go, he done all right there, but they weren't that bothered, really.
No, they weren't. I remember, yeah.
And I do think that unless we're playing him up front, I don't really see the point of having him at the moment. So he could be one of them to be, you know, listed in the summer unless like he does just give him a go up front on his own because he hasn't done that yet. So you know, and if we don't get Kone in, which I'm going to watch the Wigan game later, they haven't outright rejected the third bid, but you know, Wigan have, you know, been a bit forward in their tweets and stuff saying King, you know, he's starting and showing a picture of him with a love symbol and all that. So we'll see, but we've got to get someone in. If we can't, then we're going to have to stick with what we've got. We are. and then you've got to move people around, try other people in a position. Do you know what I mean? So he might be all right up front. Who knows? We don't know. We haven't tried him. But on the wings and that, I just don't think he's effective. Like, Morris isn't that effective necessarily up front on his own. He's improved. He's getting the chances now put to him. He's just failing to finish him at the moment. So I just give him a 6.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating one because, when this formation first come about that we were going to start using it, he was said when he was to play Brown, he'd be more out wide. And again, that is another position, that he can play. He's just not, like you say, he's just not living up to it really at the moment. It's frustrating because, like I said earlier on in the season, there was games he done all right, whether he was starting or not. But at the moment, it's just any of the strikers, it's not working with them. But yeah, moving on to the other side, we'll go over to Doughty. In the game, he was trying again. Like I say, I like that we, since he's come back, we're not so reliant on him. In games to take every single set piece, whatever side it's on. Him and Clark were chopping and changing, so that was good. But yeah, in the game, he was trying, obviously, against the club he supports as well. Obviously, he's going to have that extra determination and stuff. But yeah, I thought he was one of our better players. I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, I agree. Looking more dangerous, looking, like he's got the hunger and stuff like that. And if we go down, he's gone. He's gone.
Definitely.
But obviously, he's still coming back from injury, so it's going to take him a couple of games to get in the swing of it. But he's there. He's going to be providing goals and chances. And if they just need to start taking them because it was slipping. You've got Portsmouth playing tonight, I think.
Yeah.
We're
3 minutes.
Relying on Millwall to win that game. So, but yeah, I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, he was providing them decent deliveries again. But we just need to get on the end of them and score, really. But Jackie's gone with a 7 for Doughty. I'm not sure if I read hers out for Brown, but she went with a 5, which is fair enough. And then moving on we'll go over to Kraus. Again, Kraus works really hard in games. You've got to give him credit for that work ethic that he always brings. He's always trying for the team. And I thought he was okay in the game, 6.5.
Yeah, 6.5. Like I say, works hard. I'm a bit disappointed he come off, to be honest, because he was replaced with Elijah.
Yeah.
So I weren't too pleased with that because I think but if they're feeling his leg in, I don't think he is. I think, and when he looked at him when he come off, he looked a bit disappointed, like he had a little, maybe 5-10 minutes still more to give. But as long as he wants to stay and we want to keep him, then that'd be good for us. But yeah, 6.5.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting to see whether guys, because it is a possibility if we do. Unfortunately, I'd be interested to see if he will stay. Obviously, again, it all depends on the mind situation because he wasn't favoured there, and he, maybe they might look at him this year and change their mind, but hopefully not. But we'll see. It'll be interesting. Kraus 6.5 says Jackie. Moving on to Clark, we'll go over to Clark again. Good to see that he's chopping and changing with Doughty on set pieces. And Clark, you've got to give him credit because he has been one of the better players for us. Up there, consistency, especially since, the game before Bloomfield's come in as well. He's probably been one of the best players under Bloomfield so far. He has got a bit of a point to prove, especially now with Asgard coming in. Obviously he's a cam who can play out wide as well. It's going to be very interesting to see where Clark is like. Does he sit on the bench a little bit more, and do they chop and change, or does he continuously start like he did under Edwards, for example, under Bloomfield? If he carries on how he has, then probably, but we'll see. But in this game, I thought he was okay again. He was trying, and he was probably one of the brighter sparks in the attack, if I'm being honest. So I'll give Clark a 7.
Yeah, I'll give him 7. A little bit leggy, but again, 3 games in a row. But yeah, 7.
Yeah, fair enough. Jackie's gone 7.5 for Clark. And then moving on to the last player that started at the 11, obviously Morris. Again, like you said, Dad, he had them chances. He had chances. He was getting a bit more involved in the game. But you got to be taking your chances now. As a whole team, we have to now. We've got to pick up points where they come. Really, we've got to earn them points, shall I say? And yeah, it's just having one of them moments, isn't it, where nothing's just going our way really. But we've got to perform better, and he's got to take his chances. So for me, I'll go with a 6.5.
Yeah, 6.5. So
Fair enough. And then the subs, obviously, we'll start off with, like say, Kraus. Elijah. That's who it was for. Again, similar to Morris, isn't it? Really, it's just not really happening, really. So I'll go a little bit lower for Elijah. I'll go 6.
yeah, well, 6. Yeah, like he had that one opportunity, and other than that, like it didn't help. It was just lumping the balls up to him, but 6.
Yeah. And I think I'm going to go for a 6 for all of them, to be fair. Nelson as well, 6. He tried getting on the ball a few times, but it didn't quite work out for him. Jones, again, similar to Nelson, tried getting on the ball a few times, didn't work. Walsh obviously come on, got a yellow card. They were trying to pick him out, though. They were trying to pick him out because he had 2, obviously, previous red cards. But I like that he's still trying for the team, and a lot of people are arguing that he should have started, and I think he should have, especially being at home. A game that we needed to win, really. To get a bit of confidence, and lucky enough, the gap can't be as bad as it could have potentially been, but have to start picking up now, and he would have been ideal for this game, picking out passes, especially into the strikers, on the ground, because you don't really see him ping a ball. You see him just more play on the ground. So and that's what we were missing in that game, definitely, especially when we were lumping it up to the strikers and that. So yeah, Jackie's gone with a 5 for Elijah, but yeah, that's our player ratings done. Yeah, so Kaminsky man of the match. As for the points, Dad, still 17-14 to me. We're just struggling to get points out here. A bit like Luton at the moment. Obviously, I said a draw, 2-2 draw. Thought there'd be a lot of goals. There wasn't. Obviously, you said a win, which ideally it needed to be, but it wasn't. But any final things you want to say, Dad, on this?
we need these signings to come in and add a bit of spice and a bit of grit and a bit of let's do this kind of thing, refresh.
Yeah. Well, talking about signings, obviously I spoke on it earlier. I did a little YouTube short, guys. Make sure you check that out if you haven't already. But yeah, we have signed Naismith, re-signed Naismith on the season loan for the rest of the season, shall I say, from Bristol City. Obviously, I'll say my thoughts again just quickly before I ask you, Dad. I mean, for the experience, I'm happy. I'm happy about it. He knows the club, and things like that. And when he was at Luton originally, he played a lot more as a left-sided defender. A lot of people have been crying out for a left-footed defender as well. So he can play there. He played there for us. I'll be honest, guys. I don't know if it will happen because a lot of people reckon he'll play left centre back. Alongside McGuinness. But I'd like to see him playing left back ahead of Bell at the moment because he has been terrible. Game upon game, and that's obviously if Naismith is ready to go, like in the match fitness, because I know he got injured and then he was on the bench the last couple of games for Bristol City. So we'll see, but obviously he'll have that determination to, I guess, right his wrongs in a way, because he did leave in a bit of a way which a lot of fans weren't happy with. So he'll want to right wrongs maybe in that sense, but as a player, he did more than a good job for us, and it's a leader at the back, guys, which is what we've been missing since Lockyer's obviously unfortunately been out. So for me, I'm happy about it. It's a decent experience, and there was rumours circulating it yesterday, and we were talking about it, wasn't we, Dad?
Yeah. It's on loan to the end of the season, right? So it's 15, whatever, how many games we've got left. That's all it is. If it doesn't work out, bye. You know, you know, yeah, he left and he annoyed people, but he you know, similar to Jones in certain ways. He was a player of the season when he left. He obviously went to Bristol City, said a couple of things and that, or you know, they announced it before the club did, or you know, but the club were aware that he'd gone, but Bristol City announced it before we had the chance to. You know, and you know, he didn't disrespect us. You know, he went for double his wages pretty much. Most people do that. We just bit short in the playoffs. You know, the following season we went up, and they, you know, so he already we regretted it to a certain extent anyway. But then, you know, end of the day, he was magnificent for us when he did play for us. Everyone will remember that goal against Bournemouth. He was a leader at the back. His passing was exceptional at times. He's a bit flaky sometimes in defence, you know, but we'll see if he starts. He'll definitely be in around it. I don't know if he'll start straight away or what, but he'll definitely be in and around it. The players like him. They know him. Like I say, he knows the club. You know, Jones left, come back. You know, so it goes to the end of the season. Honestly, people we must be desperate. This, that, and the other. Why aren't we signing a striker? Why aren't we signing a Cam and all that? Well, we've signed a Cam and we're trying to get a striker. You know, currently we're being priced out of it. We might have to go in for someone else, but you know, we're doing it to give the guy a chance at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what we can. Like I said, it's 15 games or whatever it is. So that, yeah, that's my opinion on it. Doesn't work, and we ain't lost anything, have we?
Yeah, exactly. And that's
But, we should be trying to get someone else in then you know, this. And we have signed a couple of defenders already, and we've got some. And don't forget, we've got to get people out of the building as well.
Yeah.
You know, we've got we've got Burke to come back. We know Holmes can play left back. We know Bell tries to play left back. Anderson potentially could play at left back. Do you know what I mean? Like, Doughty, you know, it is what it is. You know, we're second from bottom. You know, who are we going to get realistically?
Yeah,
you know,
no, exactly. Yeah, and that's the thing that, you know, and again, you know, they are trying now, and you have to give them the credit. They are being ruthless, like they said they would, you know, in the window. But the board, if they didn't leave it too late with Edwards, we could have attracted better opposition and stuff. Proposition, sorry. You know, but we have.
You know, if you have to rate it, you know, when you do on the old FIFA, I'll give it a C.
Oh yeah, C rating on FIFA. Yeah, what do you guys rate it? Let us know. I mean, yeah, like I say, for experience, I don't mind it because, like I say, he knows the club inside out. He does. You know, he was there long enough to know. You know, the Bournemouth goal, other than this standout, you know, the blatantly obvious ones, playoff final, the Watford 2-0 win. You know, a lot of people say the 3-0, but obviously I went at that. Personal moments of games I've been to, that was one of the best moments. You know, other than them two standout ones, and that was because of his goal. You know, so you got to look at that, and you know, we're missing the main thing for me is we're missing a leader at the back, and he will bring that. I remember a COVID game where we played someone, and all you could hear was him.
Yeah, I like to touch on. You know, he ain't getting in the Bristol City team. You know, that Bristol City got some very good defenders in their team, and
no, they do.
Bristol City are 8th in the league. It's not like he's not.
They were my dark horse people. Remember?
He's not getting in the Plymouth team or the Derby team or whatever. You know, just come back from injury. You know, he's on the bench. They might not see him going forward. They're probably not going to keep him. He is 32, so you know he's available. And Bloomfield's the one who was, you know, pleased, who wanted to get him as well. You know, the recruitment team could have said, yeah, well, let's get, you know, but Bloomfield's got enough clout to say, no, I don't think that's a good, you know, I'm not really rate him or whatever. But he did. He's come out and said it already. So you've got to give him that chance.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah, I believe he'll be gone after. Like he won't be at Bristol City after, because I read the like him saying like his thoughts and what the club said about it and that.
Yeah.
And he just said, he said, "This is the bit for me. I wish the club all the best for the rest of the season and beyond."
Yeah. And the thing is, right, if it doesn't work out, even if it does, we might not decide to keep him. Yeah. He's only on loan. Well, we won't. You know, he'll go back to Bristol City. I reckon he'll end up back in. I don't think we'll keep him anyway, unless he's outstanding and we get relegated. Then he'll be a good player to have in League One.
Unless he plays like to the extent of what he did when he was there last time.
Yeah, and you know, other than that, potentially see him going either up to Scotland or I won't be surprised if Nathan Jones comes in for him. I mean,
well,
yeah,
because they've released Potts and Hilton, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So he could be, you know, Nathan Jones could look at him going forward. I could see that with Potts. You got to feel sorry for Potts, man. I think it's the injuries, to be honest. And you know when he did always put in a shift, he was all right for us. But yeah, he's been released because of that, I think. But yeah, that's our thoughts on Naismith when it comes to that. Next thing I wanted to talk about is Asgard. So it looks like, well, he's definitely coming to Luton. There's probably be an announcement tomorrow. This image is doing the rounds. So someone on the We Are Luton Town group on Facebook has put, my son has just bumped into the Wigan player. Former Wigan player now. Asgard in the Tesco at the bottom of our road. Obviously, there you go. You can see him in the Luton stuff there. And I mean, it come out of nowhere in a way. It was circulating a lot today, but it come out of nowhere starting from today. Regarding it, obviously he's 22 years old. You know, he's very good. Obviously, you know, he scored 2 great goals against us, especially the FA Cup one when we beat him 2-1 when Elijah scored right at the end. We actually played him twice in a week. I went to the weekend game where we beat him 2-0. But yeah, you know, he's a very good player. He's got a lot of potential, and you know, people have been crying out for someone to give service, provide that service. You know, other players to do that, you know, and he is that guy who can do that. He can also score free kicks, so hopefully he'll be another option for set pieces alongside Doughty, Clark, etc. Not sure what his corners are like, but like I say, his free kicks are very good. Scored a very good free kick for Wigan, which I did see. And, you know, it's one of them where a lot of people go, oh, you know, when you sign a player, they go, oh, I've never heard of this guy. You know, I heard of this guy for ages because he's got that potential. He is in the Norway youth squad, should I say, as well. So I'm happy about this. You know, it's going to be interesting to see, you know, what happens to likes of Chong. Obviously, I think he'll stay, but I mean, like, will he play out wide instead of the cam? Because you've got loads of options of players that can play in that cam now. You'll have him, you'll have Clark, there's Chong as well. And then you can even drop some of the strikers there, you know, like Brown, for example, and things like that. So it'll be very interesting to see, but decent, around about 3 million, apparently. You know, are you happy with this, stud?
Yeah. We've obviously been looking at him for a while because, you know, that's what we are doing. It's not a desperate signing. We've seen him score 2 bangers against us. One in the cup, or maybe both, because we had to replay them. I'm sure he scored both times. You know, he's a cam. I don't even. He's obviously Norwegian under 21 international. Definitely, I think he might have even played in a couple there. The first team as well. He had a 3 million release clause. Apparently, that's, you know, and we've obviously gone in with that, and he's not in their squad tonight. He's one of their best players. He's their top scorer. He's obviously coming to us. Be announced tomorrow, whatever, lunchtime or something like that. And
early, maybe even when Naismith is announced.
And he's would definitely be likely to start, in my opinion, because you need that. Clearly need that kind of player, and yeah, I'm really pleased. I think it's an excellent signing. Obviously, we're recruiting for League One. Yeah, just because you're signing a player from League One, you know, when you're in the Championship, it's only one league below you. He's young as well. He's the type of player that we go for. We're not changing on that, unless they've got a big connection with the club, i.e. Naismith, etc. Um, excellent bargain, absolute bargain. I can't wait to see him get started.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I think for 3 million, you've got a good player, especially for the future. And again, if he does really well for us, obviously, I don't really want to think about this, but then I'm thinking of it from a club aspect. If he does really well, he could then go out to someone in the Premier League, maybe a top Premier League club if he rises to it. Because like I say, he's 22, he's got a lot of years left, ahead of him as well. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy because, like I say, people have been saying about getting someone in to provide the strikers, basically, and he's more than capable of doing that. He can play out wide as well, like I mentioned. So, you got that as well on top of that. But yeah, should be a good one. And like I say, going on to what you said, I think he'll be announced tomorrow. Well, definitely tomorrow. I think it'll be round about the same time as Naismith because I think we're proper trying to do business now. I think we'll get it out early because it's out there now. It's out there now without the club announcing it. With all that picture I just showed you guys, and everyone will see it pretty much. So they'll announce it early, get that out of the way, and then on to the next target, which they'll have targets obviously that they're trying to do now. But yeah, obviously more as well, just in case others don't work, because that's what we do. And I'll be honest, going on to the Kone thing, obviously we put a third bid in. Nothing's quite come out of it. He's starting today. I don't think he will come to us, but obviously we'll look at somewhere else. There was rumours that player, I can't remember his name from the top of my head, agreed deals. He scored a few goals in the Conference League. Nothing else has really come out of that striker. But we'll see. For me, we definitely got to get someone in. And I'll be honest, if we ended it with a striker on top of what we've already got, I'll be happy. I'll be a lot more happier and a lot more confident, really, that we can stay up. But we shall see when it comes to that. But yeah, Dad, any final things you want to say about anything?
Yeah, my camera's frozen, but the Kone thing, 6 million. That's the third and final offer, I would say. And if they are holding out for him, obviously they're going to try and keep him because I think without him, they're not going up.
I agree.
It doesn't say it's been rejected. I'm going to watch the game tonight and see how he is at the end and things like that. But if that you need to move on, you need to look at someone else. Unfortunately, I don't really see anyone else in the leagues below that, other than possibly Poku, but he's not really a striker. Plus, he's injured at the moment. That's worth it. So we might have to look abroad, or try and get a loan from the Premier League. We definitely need to be getting someone in. You can't leave it like that. Let's see what happens with that. It might come back to bite them in the arse because they might not necessarily get promoted. We might, if we stay up, then we could go back in for him again. He's got a connection with Bloomfield. He's at the end of the day, they're trying their best to keep him. And yeah, the club and at the end of the day, Bloomfield gave you that chance. You know what I mean? And if I've heard that they're holding out for 10 million, you ain't getting that. No chance. I think he's got a hell of a lot of potential, but you ain't getting that. That's just greedy. Like, it's ridiculous. Yeah. But we'll see what happens with that. We just have to make a next move. If we don't get him, it's not the end of the world. Currently, the facts are we're in the Championship at the moment, and they're trying to get promotion. They're currently losing, I think.
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
so
I was about to say.
We'll see. But if not, we'll be looking to get someone else in. That's what you got to do. There's still enough time to do it. You just got to act quickly. He cannot be the only striker we've got on our list. To put it that way. So yeah, just see what happens.
Yeah, no, he definitely will not be. But yeah, some mad games in League One right now. I mean, Burton, who've been struggling to beat Reading. Wrexham are actually losing 2-0 to Stevenage as well. Leighton Orient are 3-0 up in 19 minutes away at Exeter. Bolton Northampton 1-1. There's some crazy games. Charlton are winning as well. So yeah, man, it's all mad, really. But yeah, I agree. We'll definitely be looking at someone else. Like I say, there was the speculation with this other striker, but obviously, we'll have to dip and go abroad, which is obviously where this other striker was from. And we got to that stage where we've been doing that now anyway, with certain players. So we'll see. We will see what happens. But like I say, if we were to end it getting a striker on top of that, I will be very a lot more happier with that, to be honest, and a lot more confident. So we filled that left side of defence. We would have got that cam in that a lot of people wanted, and then the striker on top of that will be good for me, and I'll be happy with that. So, yeah, man, that is everything for this episode 226. So, yeah, man, big up to everyone that has tuned in and all of that, and we'll be back again on Friday. Hopefully with a bit more news and reactions to stuff. Obviously, if it comes out tomorrow and stuff, then obviously stuff will come out with more signings and that. But yeah, same with Thursday as well. And then obviously, like I say, on Friday we're back again. Get your thoughts on the signings, Thad. If there's any more to come in and outgoings and stuff like that. And then obviously we'll preview the Sheffield Wednesday game. And from there on in, I'll tell you guys what will be happening after that, closer to the time. So, yeah, big up to everyone. Like I say, smash a like. Do subscribe if you haven't already. Do check out the short I put earlier. Like I say, my thoughts on Naismith coming back. Yeah, man. All of that. Follow me across all my socials. All of that. We'll wrap it up on this comment from Stephen. Big up to yourself, mate. Big up, guys. Great stream. Big up to yourself, mate. And yeah, until next time, we'll see you lot in a bit. Take care and peace.